All right, so we learned about carbs, fats, and proteins and macronutrients and how those are essential for creating the cells that be like to make our skin, to make everything. Now, it's not just macronutrients that make up cells of an organism, of a human, of an animal, of a plant. Our makeup comes from the macronutrients and then the micronutrients as well. So micronutrients are very important. I'm going to post a resource from Shailene Johnson 131, her program that talks about all of the nutrients that men and women would need in a day, and then where you can find those micronutrients. So if you're a Shakeology drinker, Shakeology has a ton of these nutrients in the powder. So that's why that is not just a protein shake, and it's awesome. And their carbs are actually quite minimal compared to other protein drinks, especially with the amount of fiber that's in them. So if you drink Shakeology, you probably noticed the difference when you started drinking it, of maybe your digestion, that it felt good and that your body felt energized and your body was now absorbing nutrients better and using your energy just a little more wisely. So if you have Shakeology, keep that up. And then if you also or just don't have Shakeology, I want you to start thinking about creating meals and including more micronutrients in every meal. So it could be shakes, and they come from everywhere. Spinach is amazing, nuts and hemp hearts, the sun and fish, they all have like vitamin D, omega 3s. And then the other thing that we're going to start to look at is the quality of nutrients in meat. And I mean, there's quality of nutrients too when you think about vegetables, like or organic vegetables compared to vegetables that have been grown with like a lot of chemicals or pesticides, but then animals as well. So when you think about an animal, and our mom and dads probably never needed, and our grandparents, the label to say that this is grass-fed beef, because all cows were fed with grass. And then all of a sudden there's grain-fed and corn-fed animals, whether it's chickens or cows or pork, pigs, that everything started to change a little bit. And I mean, if you're feeding those ingredients, like cows would grow fatter, faster, and they would essentially not be obtaining all of the nutrients that is found in the grass, that in those micronutrients in grass that we would eventually take in. So every little thing that is in the ground when you're growing vegetables and when you're processing vegetables, and same with growing meat and then processing the meat, it all comes into our body. So that's why hormones and all those things are so important, and it's good to get a high quality food in you. Now, it's not to say that everything at Safeway sucks and is bad, because farmers, they actually have to pay a huge premium to have those labels on their vegetables, like organic or grass-fed. And so some of them will do that, and it's not even identified. So it's not like I'm trying to justify the people that do pay for those labels aren't, I don't know, are sucky or anything. Like, they have more money and are able to do that. But it's not to say like that the stuff that you're buying at Safeway is going to kill you, because I mean, it's not. Now, when people say you are what you eat, think about eating a high fat diet and high processed diet. So here's your body that needs all these micronutrients and macronutrients, but you're feeding it Twinkies, you're feeding it bacon, you're feeding it like beef, which is really kind of more difficult for our body to digest than fish or legumes or nuts, things like that. So you are what you eat. Your cells will become made up of what you feed it. And when you only have like those macronutrients, there's sufficient loss of function that your body your body can't do because it needs the micronutrients to do so. And that comes to heart health, that comes to your sight, that comes to like cell production, to preventing cancers, to fighting off bacteria. So micronutrients are vital and they're so important. And they don't have calories or anything. They are extracted from foods and absorbed. So we are going to look at how we can add more of those into our life, how we can look at animal proteins. There's some videos and actually documents coming up to talk a little bit more about that. But how we can extract the most quality from the foods that we choose and be more aware of how our body might feel if, say, we eat more plant-based proteins and maybe fish. Fish is a lot easier on your system to digest compared to like pork and beef and then highly processed chicken. And then you see all those new labels, not new, but labels that are coming out like grass, or what are they called? Free range eggs, and, you know, making sure animals are in humane conditions when they are producing what they're producing. That can be important too. So here is our intro to micronutrients, and I just want you to know why they're so important and where you can find them. So check out the PDF that has the micronutrients information, what foods you can find those micronutrients in, and then what your daily intake should be. Your MyFitnessPal will have the capability of throwing those in there so you can see where you're at. However, it's also your body's gonna tell you where you're at. And I know your doctor probably would too if they say, you know, maybe you're low iron or low vitamin D. Sometimes people have like seasonal depression. So it's important to take a look at like that vitamin D. Where are you getting that vitamin D from? Is it the sun, or I think it's in calcium, or things that are high in calcium, so spinach and things like that. So have a look, see what you already include in your life, and then try and pick out little ways that you could maybe introduce a little bit more, whether it's a sprinkle in your shake or a sprinkle on your salad, and or substituting meat for maybe tempeh or tofu. Now, I think tempeh is my favorite. I've had it. I have not cooked it, and I've been trying to find it everywhere. I can't seem to find it at Safeway. I can only find tofu, and I like to stay away from soy-based products because I believe there's a lot of estrogen-fed cancers that are fed by soy. And I just had a friend that kind of told me that, and I was like, oh, really? So yes, it's funny what soy is in. In your Pam spray from Costco, there's traces of soy in there, soy milk. There's lots of, you know, there's good things about soy because it does have protein, but again, it depends on your body. So being aware of what soy is in, and tofu, I think, is largely soy, can be soy-based. I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong if anybody knows more about that. But tempeh has a cool meaty sort of texture, and check and see how your body feels without so much meat protein, because I betcha you're going to feel pretty good. And this is not to make anybody a vegetarian whatsoever, because I will never be a vegetarian. I love a good burger, I love steak, and I love chicken. I love it all. So this isn't trying to make you vegan at all. This is not trying to say like you shouldn't be eating this stuff. It's just looking at it in a more knowledgeable way, to be more choosing more of the good stuff more often, and hopefully finding that when you do that, you're feeling better, right? At the end of the day, this is about feeling good. All right, that's it.